At my earliest years, I'm just stubborn, man. I just never give up. I mean, there's no world where I ever would have quit. I mean, if we're just jumping right into it. This is a great, no intro or anything, just boom. This is how you hold people. When I was 11, I just said, I'm going to be a YouTuber. I'm going to die trying. And I meant it. And there was like, even if no one still watches my videos to this day, I would still be going. And so people hate it, but I'm just the most competitive, stubborn person you'll ever be honest. Honestly, it feels like it was just in my DNA, in my bloodstream. My mom hated it growing up. We'd always argue and like, you know, she has this thing where like once Jimmy sets his mind to something, he just never stops. And it would always piss her off because when it was YouTube and she wanted me to be studying or things like that. But I really don't know. It's just always been how I am. And I think a lot of people have these weird tendencies and they tend to like try to like unlearn them. And like I had phases in my life where I was like, am I too extreme? Like people are very intimidated by me because I just am so obsessed with work and I'm so all in, and like, is this like unhealthy? Should I try to be more like a normal human? And especially when I was a teenager, it's a lot easier. It's funny when you're making lots of money, it's like admirable, it's respectable. It's like, look, those are traits we want. But when you're not successful, you know, you're a lunatic when you have all these traits. And so back then I'd occasionally be like, man, like, should I try to be more normal? But I just could never do it. Anytime I tried to, I mean, I've mentioned this before, but one of the like things that like I have a memory of that like really is burned in my brain is like people one time like a high schooler told me when I was in middle school, like all you do is talk about YouTube. Like, do you like know how to do anything else? Like you're just like a freak. And I tried to like watch South Park, you know, because that's what a lot of people in my school watch to fit in. And I just couldn't. I was like, this is such a waste of time. I could be working right now. And I tried to do all these things to like fit in, and I eventually just like stopped talking because I just didn't relate to anyone. And people used to call me mute. Like one of my teachers literally asked like if I was mute, like, cause that's how little I spoke, because no one in the school I went to was entrepreneurial or wanted to build businesses. And I just didn't want to do anything else. And yeah, eventually I started to succeed, found other lunatics, and now life's great. But, you know, I like to tell this story when I'm on podcasts, because if you have a younger viewer who's in that same spot, you're not the problem, it's your environment, and you just gotta put yourself in a better environment. Well, I don't really talk about my dad much. That's, you know, a long story, don't need to get into it. But my mom, honestly, it's great now. Me and my mom have a phenomenal relationship, but on the come up, it was pretty rough because in 2008, they were over leveraged. So we literally went bankrupt. And so they, you know, had properties that they used to get other properties. And then when everything collapsed, they lost basically everything. And so my mom was working 2 jobs and, you know, barely getting by. And so I didn't see her that much because when I was coming home from school, she was doing her 2nd job. So it was a lot because she was a single mom raising us. She's working all the time. You know, I don't talk about a lot of this, you know, I have Crohn's disease, so I was very sick growing up. My brother also had issues as well. And so, you know, we're not the healthiest kids in our teenage year. She's just trying to get by and take care of us. And then, you know, she comes home and she just has this brat that's being annoying and like, I want to be a YouTuber. And she's just begging me. Sometimes she would literally cry and beg me to do homework. And I mean, I was like, I didn't mean it in a mean way, but I mean, even one time I literally told her, if you want my homework done so bad, why don't you just do it?